Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at NECA's Eastman and Laird's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4-pack. I believe this is from the Return to New York comic. I'm not sure, but it's the Chunky Turtles. I don't read the Turtle comic, so I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And it seems to be just a Raphael 4-pack, so if you like that kind of thing, that's for you. I hope they do the other turtles at some point. No, of course I'm only joking. This is just when they all had the red bananas. So if you like the all red, that's for you. They're probably going to end up doing a colored one at some point. But these guys look freaking awesome. So let's go ahead and get them off the stand and take a closer look. These guys stand, this is Raphael, but I'm going to just use him because he's red. And he stands about 15 centimeters tall. That's going to make him roughly 5 7/8, right around there. Here he is up against Darwin. Darwin is taller, and here he is up against the Foot, which is also taller. And just like with the Foot Soldier review, depending on in which order you're watching these are review samples. It's from a PR company. I don't know anything about this. I don't know where they're supposed to be sold. I'm assuming it's going to be some sort of exclusive to start and then go somewhere else later. We've seen that a lot recently with the Target stuff. The Haul-on-thon things were Target exclusive, and now they're at Big Bad Toy Store. I don't know what's happening with these. I just know it's a 4-pack of NECA Turtles, and I'm going to review it, and you guys are going to have to track it down if you want to or not after the review. If you know anything about it, let me know. I'll pin your comment, and we'll see if we can get some information together. Okay, so let's do a quick question of the day. Are you a fan of the all-red bandanas like they originally were, or are you a fan of the multicolored ones as the cartoon introduced it for toy purposes and for kids to recognize the turtles? I'm gonna go colors. I like the colors. Just because the red ones, it's in a display, it's not immediately apparent which one you're looking at unless the accessories are showing. So I like the colors for the contrast. Okay, so they are not all exactly the same. In fact, they have more differences than I thought, and I applaud NECA for doing it. Unless I'm going crazy, I do believe all of these scratch marks, or maybe not all of them, but most of them. Well, now I'm not feeling them. I thought I could feel them, like catch my fingernail on them, but maybe not. Maybe it is just paint. Alright, maybe I am going crazy. I mean, it's been happening for a while now. Anyway, at least in paint, they all have different shell scratches and different belt and knee pad and elbow pad scratches. I thought they were sculpted in there, and I thought, no way they did that. And I think I might have been wrong, because I'm not seeing it now. And apparently when I checked it, I was just losing my mind. I thought I could definitely feel them, like they were sculpted in there and painted, but now I'm not feeling it, so I guess I'm wrong. So they do have the same sculpted bodies. Yeah, they seem to have all the same sculpt. On the back, they have the same paint job, it seems, as well. But on the front, they do all have unique paint. So that's cool. So Raphael's got a few more scratches, so does Leonardo. I guess they all have a decent amount, but a little bit different. There's Michelangelo. So yeah, the bodies are a little bit different. The main belt is the same. Obviously, Leonardo has a different one, and Donatello has a different one on the back. I'll show you him. Where's he? There you go. He's got the little loop right there. But they look different enough because they have different heads, at least. Raphael has this head. I'll show you all the differences before we get into just the general aesthetic. So Raphael's got the angry head. Donatello's got the kind of neutral, stern head. Michelangelo's got the smiling head. And Leonardo has another kind of angry head that's not the same as Raphael's. And I like them. I think those are all good, appropriate head sculpts for the guys. I think the mouths are done pretty well. Maybe the teeth could be a little bit farther back, make it look a little bit more reasonable. But yeah, they look good. Actually, let's go ahead and use Leonardo as our example because he has the extra belt. Aesthetically, these things are really nice. There's some super subtle shading going on in the shell, and I hope that's transferring over on camera. I know you can probably see it down here. It's really nicely done. The black line work is super clean throughout. I love the style. The shading on the shell is great. And then, like I said, just super clean work all the way around. You can see the little buckles up there, or whatever you call those. That's nice. The faces are very nicely done. Not perfect. You can see a little bit of green poking out there, but that's super hard to notice in real life with the naked eye. So very, very nicely detailed throughout. I think these look wonderful. Again, multicolor going on in the shell. It's like a wash going on for all the elbow pads and knee pads as well. So yeah, very, very aesthetically pleasing. As far as the sculpt goes, these are the super stocky they're drawn that way. I think NECA might have gotten a little bit carried away with the legs. The legs are a little bit extra chunk, and the way they're chunky more so right in the middle here because of the calf muscle and the way they did the quads, it's a little bit off-putting if you're looking directly at it only, because the arms aren't quite that thick and there's not that much detail, so they almost look like fat person legs a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be super obvious, especially once they're posed. But they do have super chunky legs and then generally pretty chunky boxy bodies, but I think they look wonderful. I'm very, very pleased with that. It would have been cool if they did sculpt those details in the way I thought, but it doesn't really matter since the paint is different. I think they look awesome. I think they look really good, in fact. So I'm gonna say, aesthetically speaking, these guys get a 9 out of 10. They look great. I do think proportioning could be tweaked a little bit more shoulder meat and a little bit less chunky in the legs. I think it would have been great, but they are still great as they are. Okay, as far as accessories go, they all come with gripping hands on them in a package, and then you get a variety of interchangeable hands you can use for any of them. You get some down bandanas for each one of them, or one. You get 4 total, 1 for each of them, so that you can replace the ones that are on them with some other options. You get an alternate arm for Raphael that has the bandage around the bicep. That's pretty cool. Let's do the swap out. I haven't tried it yet, so let's do it on camera because it's exciting. All right, so you just have to, I guess, yank the arm out and jam this one in. All right, here we go. Interchangeable parts are always terrifying in this sort of situation. Let's see. Oh, okay, I like that. It was very easy. And very easy. All right, I'm happy with that. No looseness. I mean, it could be tighter, but given that it needs to pop out, that's reasonable. I like that. Let's try again. Let's do this. The other. Okay, yes. Nice. Good job, NECA. Kudos to you guys for not making my figure fall apart when I did that. So you get the alternate arm. You do get the cloak. That's actually very nicely detailed. Some nice dry brushing and wash work on there, and the paint work and the sculpt. Very nice. And then, of course, you do get their iconic accessories, the swords, the bow, the nunchucks, the size, and then some throwing stars. Why you only get 3 throwing stars, I don't know. I guess that's okay, though. Yeah, not the craziest spread of accessories, but definitely enough. I am pleased with that, so I will go 8 out of 10. I'm only saying 8 out of 10 because I think they could have given us more hands and maybe some head options, considering the amount of reuse in these figures. Yeah, some more hands would have been nice. Okay, and then some heads too. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the articulation. Obviously, they're all going to be the same. I mean, Leonardo has the belt up here, but that's not going to change anything. So we're just going to use Raph because he's red, and I don't want people to get confused. All right, so they did some new things on these guys, which I like a whole bunch, or at least one new thing predominantly, but some good stuff. So the bandanas do peg in, so obviously they get some posability once they're not stuck. That's stuck. Okay, well, they're interchangeable. There we go. So it's just a little bit tight, but it's just a cylindrical peg, basically. So you can rotate it around. So that will help for posability if you're using even the ones that lay on the shoulder or the ones that just kind of hang straight. You have some options there, so that's nice. Double ball peg for the head. The double nature of it isn't as effective as it could be, but you do get to move the heads around pretty nicely. I don't think you're going to have any trouble with that at all. These might be NECA's finest executed non-movie turtles, just from what I've seen so far. Let's see how it pans out. Shoulders. Oh no. I guess I should have tried that sooner before I said that. The shoulders don't have that much range. They did that to not have a gap up here, but really, NECA, I think a little bit of a gap is going to be way better than not being able to raise the arms up that much. They are Ninja Turtles after all, so yeah, you're not going to be able to raise the arms up too much. That's unfortunate. If you wanted to, you could probably manage to pop all the arms off, do a little bit of trim work if you wanted to. I'm not advocating for anybody using dangerous tools or objects, especially if you're a kid or even if you're an adult. But you could probably do that, and then you might be able to get some better range out of that. You do get your full rotation out of that. The shell is kind of soft, front and back, so you shouldn't have too many problems with paint rub, but be aware as you're posing. Bicep swivel is fine. Double jointed elbow, pretty good range. It's just about 90, maybe a little more. The elbow pad is a separate piece that is, you can kind of see the tab in there. So you have the hard joint plastic, and then this is a softer PVC that just kind of is glued onto that. So it's not really floating, but it is a separate piece. Gets in the way a little bit. Wrists have a swivel and a hinge. Gripping hands have the horizontal hinge, which is wrong. You need a vertical hinge on those, so that's something NECA needs to add more frequently. They do it sometimes, but not all the time. That's a bummer. This time, instead of giving us a torso joint that's kind of useless, they did it down here, which is ugly if you look at it directly. It's weird looking if you look at it directly. However, it's a double ball peg, so you get plenty of range out of this torso. You can do a whole lot more with it, and because it's not all the way up here, you can actually get in there to do stuff with it. So if you need to, you can pose these guys a whole lot more. It's kind of annoying when it shifts like that because it is a double ball peg, so you just want to make sure you keep that kind of centered so that it doesn't look super goofy. But yeah, you get way more waist twist and torso leaning. It could be tighter for sure, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. The hips going out to the side. Ball pegs, no looseness. That's good. Plenty of range. I like that. Could be tighter, but they're not loose, so that's all right. Going forward, yeah, it's far enough. I think maybe trimming a little bit extra away from the shell would have been okay, and then maybe making it more flexible, but you get decent enough range going forward. Going back, you get decent range, and of course, if you rotate the hip, you can kind of get it out a little bit farther because of that double ball peg in there, so that works well enough. You do get a thigh swivel, that's fine. The little turtle tail, be careful how you pose this, but it does articulate. It's on a little ball peg, doesn't do a whole lot, but it probably wouldn't be a good idea to pose it like that. That would just end up looking weird in most cases. So I would say just leave it alone, probably right there in the neutral. All right, double jointed knees. Pretty good, just a bit better than 90. Again, the knee pad gets in the way a little bit. For the ankles, we have really good range going back and solid range forward and a pretty decent ankle rocker. So yeah, these are pretty good. Really the only thing that's bothering me significantly, I mean, I do wish the hips had a little bit better range around the shell, but is the shoulders not going out to the side. Otherwise, I think you're going to be able to pose these guys pretty well, and they look damn good. I love those saturated colors. I love it. They did such a good job getting the greens to pop, the red's nice and saturated, the shading on the shell. I think it looks wonderful, but wait, I have to rate the articulation. I'm going to give the articulation for a Ninja Turtle an 8. Could have been a 9 with the shoulder, but everything works pretty well. And this new change, I like that. I like that a bunch. Okay, so now I can go back to the general conversation. It looks good. They look wonderful. They pose pretty well. They have enough accessories. This is one of my favorite sets of turtles from NECA, and I don't have any particular connection to these chunkier designs, and I don't care for the fat legs. But once you pose them, or pose them correctly, in a good way, you're not going to notice it. And NECA really executed on the aesthetic on these guys. Accessories good enough, articulation solid. Yeah, I'm going to give this set an overall rating of 9 out of 10. If you're a turtle fan, this is a set you want to pick up for sure. Unfortunately, I can't tell you where or how, but now you know that if you can figure out where to get them or how to get them, you can decide if you want to, and I recommend you do. 9 out of 10 is a good score, and these are fun figures to have. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos almost every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. In the meantime, keep collecting.